Hi everyone, this is Julia from Planner Jewels, and if you follow me on Instagram, which is @PlannerJewels, you are probably already familiar with this guy, which is the B6 Leuchtturm 1917. It's called Slim because I think it only has half of the amount of pages, like 123 pages as compared to the A5. It is a soft cover, but the Leuchtturm soft cover, it still has some structure to it, so it's not like too flimsy, but I really enjoy it because it's super light and I carry it with me wherever I go. And yeah, so let me walk you through what I have. So in the front here and in the back I carry a bunch of sticky notes because I like to sometimes write a note to myself or to somebody else, and I just like to have them on hand, and I don't like to carry like the big blocks with me, so I just have them here. Then you come to the content or index. If you're using the bullet journal, this is called the index. So you have 2 pages here in a B6, and I just list everything as I go along. It really helps me to actually use the index because I used it like in the past, like I had to look up some information that I knew was in my other bullet journal, and I just could go through the list, the index, sorry, and find what I needed. So it only comes with 2 pages. If that's not enough, that's why I kept those 2 pages blank. And then you just go straight to the future log. Like right now, I just kept from August until January, and then I just list everything as it comes, like doctor appointments, holidays, my cousin's daughter's being born in August, and so on. And everything that is further past January 2020, I just put it on a sticky note for now because I don't know if I'm gonna need more room here, so I just left it here blank. And I have tabs throughout because I do tend to flip to certain pages a lot more. So what we have here is a wellness tracker. So what I track is my symptoms. Let me zoom you in a little bit. So what I track is my symptoms, and here they're usually period related as well. So I track my period, if I have a flare-up, if I did yoga, walk, and if I feel dizzy, and how that compares to my symptoms. Then I also have my medication listed, the amount that I take and what it is and what it's for, in case it's ever needed. I have it with me, off the top of my head, if I don't remember my medication name or whatever. Somebody has, suggested in, I think it was in a bullet journal method where, a mom had all of her son's medication, who I think it was special needs, and yeah, that helped doctors tremendously, to react fast. And then I keep doctor notes as well, throughout, when I go to my regular doctor or dermatologist and so on. And then we have here the list style, monthly layout, which I used quite often, in the past few months, and I really enjoy it. I really like it. However, I find it a little bit hard. Sometimes, for example, here, I get the gymnastics schedule for my boys already. I know every Monday and Wednesday they go at 5. But then, I will have an event that is earlier than 5, so at 10, but I have to write it after 5, which kind of throws me off a little bit. So in August, I'm using a grid monthly again. And then here it's just the July tasks, so everything that comes to my mind that I want to do or finish, accomplish, or whatever. And then I go straight to the dailies. So what I did was just, I just write the first letter, or the day and the date, and then I leave this column here, and this is for color coding. And then I list my to-do list. Triangles are appointments, and circles are events, not time specific. So triangles time specific, and the circles are not. And then I just use the normal or the new key for signifiers. A task is a dot, and then you usually in the key you cross it out when you're done with the task, but for me that just means canceled, and always has, and that's why I just use check marks. It's just easier for me. it's not like, you know, 100%. I also like to record the weather because it has been, like, at least in July, it has been so unpredictable, like every day it changed like dramatically, so I had to kind of like list and knew, you know, so I knew what was going on. And then my color code, let me just flip to the back here. This is like a pen testing page, like I had like some fountain pens from my friends that I really wanted to test out, and we will go to this in a second. But this is my color code, so red is important, orange is my husband, yellow is all like social events that we do together, green is shopping, this teal blue is for my dog, this dark blue is for my boys, the purple is for me, and everything in this fuchsia, you know, light, I don't know, dark pink color is health related. So when I scan the pages, I can just immediately see like, okay, this concerns my boys, this concerns me, oh, here's a note on something that is health related. And then I have, I keep just one page or like a spread sometimes for like my collections. I used to like sprinkle them, you know, throughout, you know, to have it like continuously, because I used to 2 columns in my A5, and I really enjoyed this, and I still think it's very useful, and I will probably go back to it when I upgrade the size or whatever. But right now in this size, B6, it's a little bit slimmer, and I do have fairly large handwriting, so like 1 page for collections is enough for me. So here are the school supply list for my son, and then I have a list for each of my boys, William and Alexander. So I like random information, you know, like when his last tetanus shot was, when he's gonna meet a teacher, what's gonna happen, like his school hours. And here I also record like when they had like some health complaints, you know, specific to them. And there's more dailies, and I still think it's minimalistic, even though, you know, like I use a sticker and I guess colors, but color coding for me is, you know, quite essential. I don't color code right now anymore, but I don't know, maybe we'll go back to it. I like to change things up, I like to try new things out. So those are the dailies, nothing super special. Here I'm starting a list for my little niece or nephew that's gonna be born in February, so I'm super excited, I can't wait. And here I have my online orders, so I just, you know, store, item, when I ordered it, when it was shipped, and if I received it, and the R just means return because it was like faulty or the wrong size or whatever. So I just like to keep track of that. More dailies. Sometimes I will highlight very important things, like I went to the library with my son, and obviously I haven't had like my August set up yet, so I just highlighted when the books were due, which was the 1st of August, and, you know, just stands out. Oh, here's a good example of something. I get asked a lot of times, especially on Instagram, when I set up my dailies, and I know like tomorrow or 2 days later or something, I will have like an event coming up or a task coming up. If it's an event or an appointment, I either put it in the monthly log or the future log. If it's a task that is day specific, I will sometimes just write the date when I want to accomplish that task and highlight it. So, you know, it stands out still. It's not as prominent as red, obviously, but it still stands out. So like, you know, Monday comes and I can just transfer those over to that day, or if they were to happen on, you know, Wednesday, you know, I can still see, oh, those are unfinished and they're marked for that specific day, and I can just transfer them over here. It's just a simple way to, you know, plan for tasks without having to draw weekly. Here's a wish list of things that I want, more doctor notes. So doctor notes, I just keep like the date highlighted, what it concerned, and, you know, information. And I will also transfer like all the doctor notes and like, you know, symptoms and whatever, and important information for my kids. I will transfer it to Evernote as well. Like either I take a picture of my bullet journal and upload it to my Evernotes and to the according notebook, or I just type it out. So I can't fully go digital, but I still love having those digital, you know, features, like easy to find, easy to reference, because you only look for tags, and you have it on your phone usually. Like it syncs up with your phone, so when you're out and you don't want to like, you know, look through the entire bullet journal for a specific thing, you can just, you know, go to Evernote. But I can't live without this because I have to purge my mind and put everything out like on paper. I have to write it out. So those were like the last days of July, yes. And here we go into August. My sweet friend Rachel, she actually lettered this for me because my lettering is terrible. So hi Rachel, if you're watching, thank you so much. And I just drew out like a very simple, minimalistic, you know, grid style monthly, and I just color coded like all of the events and appointments that were happening, and then here in this margin I just put the tasks. And then I started watching Honeyrozes on YouTube, and I really enjoyed like her time ladder. Like she really nicely explains, I'm gonna link her video below. She really nicely explains how she uses like the time ladder. So I start at 7, and then, you know, each square is an hour, and then I just coded, here's my code for the time ladder. So I code everything diagonally, which is out of the house, I'm not at home. M is morning routine, like the dots is like fun, self-care type of things, or yeah, I mean fun, like, you know, I watched a movie, I read a book, or I played with the kids, you know, stuff like that. And, you know, those little sprinkles, they remind me of like confetti, and confetti is fun, so that's why I have this here. E means evening routine. Everything that is like horizontally dashed is chores or work. D is dinner, and pink is exercise. So I will just go along, and oh, this light gray area, I didn't have it in my key, but it means like when I woke up or got up. And then I just sometimes, like, you know, feed like all of those, you know, tasks and the information like to the corresponding times, and then I can plan my day, you know, around everything. You know, usually I just shade in all the times that I'm going to be out of the house first, and then I just plan the rest accordingly and just go hour by hour what I've been doing, and then cross off my list, and I signify important things or reminders. You know, when I registered my boys for fall sports, and I signify it with an asterisk. And here, for example, the W means William. He has to write sentences every day. So, because school's gonna start soon, and I don't want him to be there not out of practice. And here also like important like library books were due this day. And, you know, I pre-drew like the spread and this one as well. So it's kind of like, you know, kind of like a weekly, you know, 4 days per spread. And it's been nice, but it's kind of a little bit cramped at times. So what I did, because I always like write down dishes and medication and walk, and again dishes. So what I tried to do again is create a habit tracker. So I created this habit tracker, which is also very minimalistic, and I have it in in categories. So there's health, Alex and William, money related, and then home. So health, you know, like water, journal, meditate, and so on. And I just go about my day and cross off, and I hope to see, like, you know, as many check marks as possible, so I don't have to write the tasks that are always repeating and always the same here anymore, so I have more time to actually journal like bits of my life as well. And yeah, so I just started the ConMari for the house, and so I can like really plan ahead like what I want to do each day. And you know how the day is going. I forgot to actually track here, and I didn't track any time yet, but it will be done soon. And yeah, this is just how it works. I'm just going along, and then what I did here, like I'm trying out, like on this upcoming Wednesday, I want to try out like a full page for a day, just to split up my times even more precise. So I can even have like 45 minutes. If I need to. And then, so the reason why I do KonMari is like I had a lot of like anxiety, and like the house is always trashed and stuff is like everywhere where it's not supposed to be. So I just sat down with myself. I was like, okay, what do I want my home to be like? How can I achieve this? And what do I need? And I just wrote it out. You probably saw it on Instagram already if you are a follower. And then I listed out, like I just searched online for the categories for KonMari and I just listed everything out. And what I do is just like I check everything off that I did, and once I'm done with the whole category, I highlight the header. So then I'm now like, okay, this one's done, so on to the next. And today I just did the books, and I still need to do the children's fiction, which will come after this video. And then I'm done with this category, so I'm just gonna go category by category and do every day a little bit. I'm not gonna plan too far ahead because I never know, like if I have a flare-up, if I don't feel well, if you know we have some events or we want to like play outside more or whatever. So I'm not gonna play ahead too much, but I'm just gonna go category by category. I'm not gonna skip around. I'm just gonna stick to this and hopefully be able to manage everything. But yeah, so far this is it right now. So I have about 1.5 months, I guess. No, not even, like 1 month and a few days. So far I'm on page 36. So I think this might last me like in total like 3, maybe 4 months if I am more space saving or something. But it's a really nice notebook, and I like the paper. I always liked the Leuchtturm paper. It doesn't bother me, the shadows, because it's actually really not that bad. And as I said, the pen testing was also helpful. I always do this in the back of the page to see like which pens will bleed through, like the Sakura bled through. And yeah, so right now I am using the Pilot Razor Point 2, which is the best fine liner I have found. I used to use the Pigma Microns, and I used to also use the Zebra Sarasa, which is a gel pen. That is like usually like my go-to pen. But I like the fine liners more because I can highlight straight away. And the ballpoint is nice as well, but it's a little bit too light. I just need a little bit more contrast because this is kind of light. It's nice, I still enjoy this, but this is more contrasty. It focuses me on like the things that I have actually written. And I can immediately highlight over it and they don't smear, and I just love them. So that's about it. Like I only have some weather stickers in the back here, which I don't use currently, but I still love. But this concludes my little walkthrough of my bullet journal in the B6 Leuchtturm, and I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found it interesting, and if you have